All right, thanks for coming back to check out another video. In this one, I want to talk about 3 skills when it comes to technology that I believe will help your students in a tremendous way. Now, please know, these 3 things are just based off observations that I have made being in the classroom, talking to teachers, talking to students, and looking around and talking to people in different industries. Also know that you may know some other skills that kids need to know based off your profession, your work experience, or just your kids have graduated and gone through Sunnyvale and there's some things that you wish that you would have known and helped them develop it. I'd love to hear those so I can go out and share them with everyone else. And so please feel free to email me, leave something in the comments, and I'll add that into another video. But these are 3 things that I see. And please note, we are addressing these things ourselves in the classroom, but I think there's things you can also just kind of encourage and watch at home. Not necessarily having to sit down and do extra homework and extra practice, but maybe just in conversations at the dinner table as you hear things come up. And the number one thing that I would say is working on secondary input. And the reason I say secondary input, I used to just say typing, but now we've seen some things with trackpads and mouse skills as well. And just know these 3 things aren't just with little kids. This goes all the way up to middle school and high school as well. So think about it. Have you ever had a kid go up to your TV and try to poke a hole in it? You probably have. I know mine still do it every day, no matter how many times I tell them it's not a touchscreen. Why? Because most of our world revolves around a touchscreen. And so because of this, kids don't type as much. They also don't use a mouse that much. And so getting that idea of I do something in one place, typing or clicking, and then it pops up on the screen can be difficult. Especially if you're younger kids. Now, as they get older, it's just more about speed and proficiency. And so you think about the workforce and what you're going to have to do. It involves a lot of typing, be that email, papers, reports, pretty much any field you go into now. There's going to be some typing and some other things involved. And so developing those skills can be a huge help in the classroom and beyond. And so if you can find opportunities for that to, not just hop on the phone, but also allow your students to, do some things on a desktop, on a laptop, do a little bit of typing, work on developing those skills. It's a great thing. We're starting to work on this all the way down to kindergarten and trying to develop those skills in students. It's hard because I've been asked, well, how did you learn to type fast? Lately it's been a lot of coding. Before that, I'm pretty sure it was AOL Instant Messenger. And so some of those opportunities we had that made us type faster aren't necessarily out there. But encourage you to keep an eye on that in students and developing those typing skills. It'll help them go a long way in their schooling, but also in their professional productivity. All right, the second thing that I can think of is research. Now, research doesn't necessarily have to be a technology skill, obviously, but we have so much information that we can go out and gather on the internet and through technology that I think it's an important. All right, the second skill that I'd like to mention today is research. Now, research I know is not necessarily a technology skill, but because of the amount of information we have access to on the internet, it almost is becoming one. And so I think it's an important thing that we can work with our students. And here's one way that I could suggest it at home. Just when you hear your kids say, I saw something or I heard something, just simply kind of asking a follow-up question to start a conversation. Where did you hear that? How do you know it's true? Those things where you're like, okay, that sounds like it might be true, but I'm not sure, or at least want my kid to think about it. And so what are you doing? You're helping your students realize what it means to have a credible source, how to maybe find a secondary source to support that. And so those kinds of research skills, because what can happen again is our students get so much information a lot of times through social media feeds and things like that, not realizing that sometimes there's a lot of algorithms that went into that makes that information pop up that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with it being factual, the whole truth, or like a good source that you would want to use in a research paper or a scholarly work. And so I think things like that, those kinds of conversations, because I think our kids know how to do research. They can go out and search, but doing quality research, checking sources. Now, this goes even into personal life with news, media, and information, and helping them to know, hey, when you see that headline pop up, before you go retweeting it or sharing it or liking it, maybe you should go to a couple of their sites and make sure that that's actually happened or that it's a credible source. And so I think things like that can be a huge help to students, and developing that kind of quality research skills will help them not only be successful as students, but also as citizens. All right, the third skill that I'd like to suggest you work with in your students is creativity. And here's why. Technology has given our students incredible opportunities to create anything they can imagine for little to no cost. And sometimes that could even mean them beginning to work on or create a product or skill that they can use in a career right now, not having to wait till college or after. But what's happened a lot of times is instead of seeing technology as a tool, we see it as a toy because we have so much games. Yes. Okay. I sure can. Bye. All right, the third technology skill that I want to encourage you to help your students develop is creativity. Now, we do a ton of this in the classrooms, be it through 3D modeling, videos, coding, lots of other ways. But I want to encourage you to develop this skill at home as well. Because here's one reason why. We have incredible Okay, the third technology skill that I want to encourage you to develop in your students is creativity. Now, we do a lot of this in the classroom, be it coding, videos, 3D modeling, all sorts of things. But I want to encourage you to support this at home as well, and here's why. Our students have an incredible opportunity to create products and other things that not only will help them learn today, but might actually turn into something that they can use for the rest of their life, be it as a job or maybe as an entrepreneurial opportunity. And they don't have to wait till after college anymore to learn and apply those skills, because we have incredible technology tools at our disposal. But the problem is a lot of times students see those tools as toys. We see them as a way to play video games, watch videos, look at pictures. And not that those are bad things. I think it's great that we can carry our entire photo album now with us in our pockets and pull up those memories at any time. But when that's all students see technology as, they're missing incredible opportunities for learning and especially for creativity. And so I encourage you, as your students are getting their screen time, maybe encourage ways that they can do things like make videos, code, create graphics. And the real reason is it's not necessarily about developing those specific skills, because I could do a whole other series of video on those skills. It's about shifting that mindset and realizing technology is an incredible tool for learning and creativity if we'll only learn to see it that way. So I hope these 3 tips help you as you think about technology and how your students can and should be using it. If there's some other skills that you know that are extremely important, that maybe you're struggling to find people in your field that can do that and hire for your company, I'd love to hear about that. Not only does it help us as we educate students and help them along their future, towards their future, but it also I think could be a help to other parents as well.